All right, so here we are. I'm getting set up to do the little leaf mobile that I wanted to do. So I went out and I picked out some leaves from the garden. I've got my scissors. If you're going to be cutting the yarn, then maybe the safety scissors, or if your parents, they be good scissors, the bigger scissors. I've got some Elmer's glue and some oil pastels and some yarn. Now you can use little scraps of yarn for this project. It doesn't have to be a whole ball of yarn. I like to use this for things like this. And so to start with, I'm going to do my leaves. And so I'm going to kind of clear this out of the way here. So I'm using oil pastels, and I like oil pastels because they're really soft and creamy. They're like a crayon, but they're much softer. And so since we're doing the leaves, I'm trying to show some of the texture, the veining in here, which you really can't see. So I want to kind of highlight that maybe with some of the oil pastels, plus just to make it kind of pretty. If you see, there's little veins here, and I could color in each section with a different color. Like maybe pink there, and maybe yellow here. Now, if you didn't have oil pastels, you could just leave them the way they are, the leaves. You might even want to just do pink and yellow over and over again. You could even just do maybe some old little sticks, maybe some little pieces of stick that are wrapped in yarn for your leaf mobile. If you had some beads, in fact, I'm going to go grab some of my beads here. I had a whole bunch. Let's see. Oh, there they are. Oops. My desk is only so big to hold all of this. But I have some different kinds of beads and buttons here. I might use that to kind of weight the leaves a little bit so that they'll hang a little bit better. So I'm doing this one kind of purple and yellow. I love it when you mix the oil pastels. They mix together really nicely, and so I can make a lighter color. So I'm going to do white up the center here, I think. Maybe add some white here. And I just like it because it has a little pop of color to it, and you see the veins of the leaves a lot. And I just love the white on there because I think it looks really pretty. I'm going to try some of the blue over here on this side. Now, it could all be one color. You don't have to do all these different colors like I'm doing. I'm going to try to do every other one another color. So there's my blue. And so I love how it goes when you do the white over the blue. It looks so pretty. You can even smear it with your hands if you wanted to. I'm going to also let's do purple. Let's do the purple on here, okay? And oil pastels are fun too because you can use them on drawing paper, and they look so good. And they're real blendable and smooth. You saw how I could blend it with my fingers there. So you can do the same thing on here if you wanted to, but then it's going to get into all those nooks and crannies as opposed to just kind of highlighting the texture of the leaf there. So it kind of depends on what you want to do. And you could do both sides. This could be really pretty and decorative on both sides instead of just this side. Kind of like the way that looks. If I did it on this side, there we go. Some of that pink and yellow kind of mixing together there. So there's a leaf. Then I took some of my yarn, and I'm going to take a piece here. Let's see, I'm going to take this yellow piece. I'm going to take this yellow scrap piece that I had here. Okay, move this out of the way. And I'm going to take some of my Elmer's glue. And if you have a clothespin, that would work, or maybe like a little binder clip like this, or maybe a clothespin. That kind of helps too. Again, if you had a glue gun and your parents were helping you with this, you could use a glue gun to glue the yarn onto your leaf. So you have to have a piece of a leaf that has a stem on it. I mean, I guess you could punch a hole in here with a hole puncher. I think that might work too. But I'm going to do it how I did my other one. So I'm going to open up my glue. Remember, when we use our glue, he's got like a little hat on. And so right now his hat has been pulled off, so we know that he's open. And then when I twist it down, his hat goes back on. And he's sealed, and then twist it this way, and his hat is off, and I know he's open. And I'm going to kind of hold this piece here, and I'm going to wrap around like that. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue on both of those pieces. And I'm going to kind of smear it around. Now I could sit here probably and hold this and count to like, I don't know, 25, 50, and it might hold it. Or I could take this binder clip and I could pinch it with that. Okay, so I'm going to kind of pinch it with the binder clip after I add a little more glue because it didn't really hold. So dot dot, not a lot. It's going to take longer to dry if you have more glue. If you have less glue, it'll actually dry quicker. So I'm kind of wrapping this yarn over. I went up and then I went back down and kind of wrapped it over. Now I'm going to go put this on there. And I'm going to let this sit here and dry while I move on to my stick. So I took my stick and I basically took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colors of yarn that I had at home, and I took another one that I used for kind of like the handle here, and I just tied these on for the leaf mobile. Okay, and so obviously I think it needs a little bit more hanging from it, but this is what I got so far. Now I took my yarn, and much like I did the leaf, and this time it works really quickly and fast and dries really fast. So I'm just going to start in some area, and this is just a scrap piece. I'm going to take it and I'm just going to wrap this around on top of itself like that. So now it's kind of held in, and then I'm going to wrap around and around and around and around and around. Whoopsie, I want that one more over. And so I'm kind of coloring my twig with yarn instead of painting it, which is kind of fun. There's a whole group of people out there that will do yarn bombing, B-O-M-B-I-G, and they basically take yarn and they cover like a tree with yarn or with some crocheted pieces. And so when I was doing mine, I just took my glue and a little dot and I kind of held it. So I put kind of glue around it with my fingers, and I just kind of held it there, counted to maybe 20. I don't know, in some of my classes, and then I tell the kids if it doesn't stick and it comes unraveled, count to 10 again. And sometimes we count in French because I know French. And so we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we take our fingers off and hopefully magically, it stayed. I could probably hold that a little bit more because it looks like it's going to come undone. But I'm going to take again my little binder clip and I'm going to kind of hold that on with that for now so I can move on. And if you ever get too much glue on your fingers, I'll pretend like, whoops, I got a little glue on my fingers. Instead of going, oh, Miss Lysak, I need to go wash my hands, I say, no, you know what? This is a magic trick. You don't need the sink. It'll magically away. You get your hands, you rub them really, really fast together, and voila, it is gone. Woo! Like that magic trick. And basically, as it's dry, my hands are dry, and I can wait, do some more stuff, and every time I get glue, I just do my little magic trick, and it dries, and then I can keep going, and then when I'm all done, I'll go wash my hands. So, again, we can take lots of really cool leaves. I was thinking on this one, if this one's done, I wanted to try adding a bead on it. So, let's take my yarn here, and I cut this off, and I'm going to grab one of my beads. Let's see what I got going in here. And I want something with like a large hole, though, like that, because it'll be easier to put my yarn through. And I might try to see if I can put this all the way through onto my stem and see if that'll work. And that'll also kind of hold it on. I didn't have these at home when I was working on my little mobile yesterday. So, I like that. I think that would be kind of cool to hang that down. Plus it's purple like the purple that I've got going here. So, normally I would take this and I would keep going all the way across with some, yarn, different kinds. But I'm going to kind of speed through this a little bit. I'm not going to actually speed it up, but so then once I had this whole thing covered with yarn, I took my pieces here, and I could probably take these and glue these on as well too. And if you want to, you could do that. In fact, I think I'm going to try that way. I actually took mine and knotted them, so I made a little loop and then just kind of went through here and knotted them on like that. Actually did it twice. But if you didn't knot, if you were really trying to not do that, you could do the Elmer's glue. So I'm also going to add a little Elmer's glue because I want to get this kind of all stuck down really good. And I'm just going to wrap this around like that and smear some of that on top of this. And it kind of sticks better to the stick than it did to the, and I'm going to do my counting, or I would do my counting If I were at home, I'd be sitting there watching some television or something and holding this down, but I'm just going to put my paper clip on there, my clothespin on there, and hold that. So I would hang these down, and I like the idea of the bead because then the bead kind of keeps it weighted. So I would decorate this, make some up here higher, make some down here lower. I might even decorate some twigs and hang the twigs with yarn, decorate them and have them hang down, kind of like a wind chime, maybe underneath this. That would be really cool. And so at the very end, after I kind of decorated all of this, I took some yarn and I basically just wound some on the end like this. And I added my glue and I kind of held it, just like I was doing here. And then I did the same thing with this over here. So let's put this here. No, that's not going to work. I need another clothespin. So let's say that one's glued. Then I took this piece here and I went over to this side and I wound it up on this side. Doing it, let's see, there we go, like that. So I figured even if the pre-K students aren't really good, this is them to learn how to wind the yarn on here. And even if some of it's hanging down and not completely glued, it would still look really pretty. You could even add some beads onto this string before you attach it onto here, or maybe some beads, slide them on so that they would come, you know, down kind of like this one was onto that piece. You could even take some pieces of yarn and dangle a bunch of beads strung on some yarn hanging down. So I think it'd just be kind of cool because this is kind of nature art. We went on a little scavenger hunt through the playground and all the students had to find leaves and then we decorated them. So I just thought it'd be fun. It's fall, one of those leaves that are falling on the ground, and make a little leaf mobile. And again, mine's not completely finished, but I'm hoping that you guys will share yours with me and show me how your mobiles turned out. And I hope you have fun just kind of yarn bombing your twig, and maybe you can do some other things with the yarn. In fact, like I said, in my front yard, I have a stick like this that I'm doing the yarn up here, but I made little pom-poms and I hung the little pom-poms down, and I actually have it hanging in my front yard in that tree, and it's still holding up. It's been up there since June and or May actually, I think, and those pom-poms are still intact. They haven't fallen apart. So I'm kind of happy to see that. And if you want to make pom-poms, they sell pom-pom makers like this one, and they make a great pom-pom. These are kind of fun. But you can also make them with just around your fingers or cardboard or something. There's lots of videos on that. So have some fun and have a great Thanksgiving. Bye, guys.